Hey family, it's Tasha Maria prepping. So you already know what time it is. Get your drink, pull up. Let's talk about it. Let me get me a sip in. Okay, so today I want to talk about a food prep, something to prep that a lot of people do not think about. Don't prep, haven't realized that they should prep it. The importance, I think that it's an extremely important prep. And it's often a prep that I even forget about when I'm giving you lists and I'm giving you the best protein and the best list type stuff of different preps. And this is one that even I tend to forget to share with you. Okay. And so that is stockpiling and prepping protein powders, right? And there's different kinds, right? You can get your plant-based stuff, you can get your stuff with whey, but stockpiling protein. This is going to give you another option to get protein in your system. It's easily to make. Anybody in your family can make it. Will give you what you need to get through to the next meal. It's a good filler in between meals. It's a good meal replacement. There's all types of stuff on the market. So depending on what it is you're looking for, will depend on what kind you actually get. But I would, if you do not have this in your preps, I would say start looking, go to these aisles in the store, start researching, see what is going to work for you and your family, and get those, okay? And obviously protein powders, they come in several flavors. I typically tend to get the plain ones, like the straight vanilla ones. Like this one happens to be cookies and cream, so you can have fun with it with different flavors. But think about how you're going to keep protein. Now, to me, also storing it wise, in this airtight container plastic, it's very, very thick food grade plastic. I really enjoy just keeping it straight in the containers. I suppose if I was gonna try to keep it any longer, or I was concerned about keeping it this way, maybe the only other thing I would do is maybe move it to glass jars. But to be honest, this is good, solid storage, and I don't mind it, especially if you put this in a secondary storage, like a tote, something like that. I do notice that the older it gets, the more hard it will get, right? It will start to form up. But it's extremely good prep that lasts a long time. So take a look at them, start looking at those expiration dates so you can see what I mean by it lasts a very long time. Typically you buy it, you're looking at a year and a half, maybe 2 years for it to expire. So get that stuff. And then think about flavoring. So it comes in flavors, but think about different things in your preps that you could always add to something to make it different, to make it better, to elevate it, right? And there's a lot of simple, cheap things you can do. And there's more expensive things. There's more expensive stuff like this. You can buy smoothie type syrups ready to go. They're just flavoring. This is a liquid, right? Again, you're gonna get this. It's gonna last a while. We just got this, but this one already expires October of 23. So not even a year. When we bought this, I actually didn't even look at the expiration. Now I'm wishing I had, but there's other things that you can do. Simple things. You want to simplify it. Just little flavoring packets, Kool-Aid packet, a juice packet, any of your coffee stuff, right? Coffee things. When we talk about smoothies and stuff, we usually talk about fruits. What do you have that's growing in your garden, on your land, on your property, that you're going to be able to get that citrus or get that type of fruit to be able to not only eat it, but to add to maybe a protein shake? Do you have blueberries growing? Do you have raspberries growing? Do you have citrus of some sort, right? Do you have oranges, bananas? Are you blessed in that way? Even vegetables, right? And greens and leafy things, you can make smoothies out and then add this protein so that you're getting a complete meal when you make it, okay? This can save the day, especially if you're rationing and you're trying to just give your kids a little something to fill their bellies. This is a great, great prep to have. Other things you can get, buy, if you haven't already, I'm a big fan of number 10 cans of freeze-dried fruits and vegetables. I love freeze-dried strawberries and bananas and blueberries and all that stuff. And so putting a little bit of that right in the smoothie as you make it, they're gonna concentrate, right? They're gonna rehydrate, and they're gonna be delicious in your shake, okay? So Think about that. Think about grid down and what this looks like. I like that because even if it's grid down, you don't feel like using the blender, or you don't have a power source, or maybe you just have a hand blender and you have a power source, or maybe you don't. But protein shakes are great because essentially you don't need to blend them with ice. People do that to make them thicker or add the fruits and blend it more, right? But in theory, you could just put it in a shaker, a regular shaker, put this in, put what you want in, put your water in, and shake it up. And maybe it's not the consistency you want, it's not as thick because you don't have a blender, but at the end of the day, it's a protein drink that you're going to be able to drink that is going to fill you up and is going to be an actual meal, okay? And so when we talk about ration plans, right? We talk about our food limits and regulating our own food once things go left, and how do we stretch the food that we have in the house. This is an amazing way to do that. A protein shake powder is a very good way to supplement and stretch out those food stores that you have, okay? And it's a way to switch things up, and it's a way to do stuff, especially if you're on the go, you're working, whatever, you don't want to stop, build a fire or light something and do all this. It's a lot quicker if you're doing work, you're doing projects, you're doing stuff. It's easy to make and then drink on the go, right? So huge fan. I've always been a huge fan. I'm thinking about staples, right? And so I'm going through each room, each area, each section, and I'm thinking about, okay, what are the actual staples that I want to make sure that I really have, and a full picture. And as I was thinking about protein powders and looking at my stockpile of protein powders and looking at expiration dates and looking at and seeing when stuff was going to expire and seeing how much do we really have, that became important to me. And then I started the dialogue of, okay, how would I flavor stuff? What are the extra things I have? What am I growing? What are the things I've preserved, right? So that you could change things up, okay? Huge fan. So that's my 2 cents. I know this isn't a very long video today, but I was thinking about this as I'm moving forward with my stockpiling journey and my staples journey. And I thought about it, and I thought, I always miss the mark with bringing up protein. I've had other videos where I talk about, the top grains to get, the top proteins to get, the top this to get, important foods to get. Make sure you have this in your stockpile of foods. And I always, after the fact, I'm always like, man, I didn't mention protein mix. And typically somebody will mention it in comments, and that's what reminds me that I didn't mention it, right? And so I thought that this deserves its own video, so that and if you're old school, this might be something that you don't have in your preps. Maybe you do, and you're amazing, because a lot of you are, but this is also a good thing for new preppers because it gives you options. It gives you something different, easy to stockpile, easy to stack and totes, lasts a long time, and is just an amazing prep that I'm very thankful that we have in our preps, for us at least, okay? So be well, be kind, do everything in love, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next video. Take care. Bye.